Hello, we're live now. Made in America, Saturday Night Live with Clyde. I was just saying to Clyde, you look like Walter Cronkite.
Well, thanks. I oh, this is the news. Good evening, America. But, yeah, I've just, damnedest thing, I had the uncontrollable urge to, I had the most uncontrollable urge to buy a grape dial polar, perpetual, oyster perpetual. I can't explain. Anyway, so what's up?
Made in America. What does America do well?
Diabetes. And keep in mind, we've gone lately from a industrial economy to a service economy.
Is that good or bad?
Take your choice. It's good for some and it's bad for a lot. Of course, everyone decries the loss of manufacturing industrial jobs being shipped overseas. You know, well, actually, first of all, to Mexico under NAFTA. Now, if you remember, during the '92 election,
what president got us into NAFTA?
Bill Clinton. Well, actually, I think it was started under George Bush the first, but Bill Clinton continued it. You remember H. Ross Perot saying, "You go ahead and you do NAFTA. All you're going to do is you're going to hear big second sound. As all our jobs go to Mexico." Remember H. Ross Perot?
He was right.
Yeah, he was right. But you kind of wonder, though. One kind of wonders trade-offs. Let's just say, but it would be tough, I think, to do industrial and manufacturing jobs in America anyway.
Why is that?
Well, environmental concerns, number one. When I was a kid, a lot more pollution, dirtier air when I was a kid. Love Canal, for instance, to stay competitive with foreign labor. American companies would pull all sorts of skeezy shit to try to lower the costs, including illegal dumping, hazardous chemicals.
I see.
And industrial and manufacturing jobs, people get hurt. It's a burden on the social relief system, and also, all sorts of workers' compensation cases.
Made in America used to mean something proud. You know that?
Yeah. I remember that. I remember when Japanese made meant junk. You wouldn't buy anything that was Japanese made unless they offered a extended warranty for it.
Yes.
You were less fortunate. You're less well off if you had a Japanese car.
That's correct. That's correct. But General Motors lost that.
Yep. Well, environmental concerns, worker concerns, I think, let's be honest, I think unions went a little bit too far.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think they did.
Yes.
And keep in mind, unions were meant to protect the ordinary workers from, arbitrary or destructive or predatory actions by management. But I think they got a little bit too powerful. Of course, the mob running them probably didn't help things either. Oh yeah, long history of organized.
Do you have organized crime in Oklahoma?
It's rumored.
Now, I'm just going to take a 2-second break, Clyde. I need to go and get another reload of pizza.
Oh.
I'm just going to go into the other room, put a piece of pizza on my plate. Can I put a piece of pizza on my plate? I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll be back in 2 seconds. 2 seconons. Just hang on there.
I'll read the comments real quick. Actually, the thing is, what you don't realize is Pizza Pagoda actually makes backdoor deliveries. They'll actually come in your backyard. It's a service that Brisbane has that a lot of the world doesn't know about. How's the board doing? Hey, South Carolina, Fist, Greetings from the Southwest. Has anyone ever heard of European Watch Company? No, but we damn sure heard of International Watch Company. Hello from Tokyo, Ulysses. Welcome to you. Archie, the pussing sampling. Okay. Greetings from the California Golden State. Hey, how's everything going on the left coast? Did I see any vintage roll? I mean, did I see any Daytona deals? I saw so many damn Daytonas over at the National Watch and Clock Collectors National Association, National Convention in Arlington. Yeah, but then again, I wasn't really looking at Daytona, so I really didn't keep up on prices. But they had a bunch of them. Something they didn't have a bunch of was bluesies. Didn't notice any bluesies, and it occurred to me till afterwards. Okay, Jared is. Oh, yeah. I'm actually putting off my bedtime a little bit. Reef and beef fuckers. Yes. Not cock collectors, clock collectors. We've talked about this, guys. Clock collectors. Hello from Laos, from Dead Frang. Live stream is in such shitty hours. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Tell me about it. Yeah. Anyone have any questions or comments for the pontiff?
Now, Clyde, I wanted to say to you, Made in America, do you remember the Andy Hardy movies? Judge James, yeah, with Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland. What would Judge James Hardy say if he came back to America now? He was a judge in a small American town. What would he say if he came back to life today? What would he say?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell with someone from a past era, especially a fictional character. I've seen different comedy bits where they brought the founding fathers back, and the founding, yes. I mean, yeah, and basically, in contemporary terms, the founding fathers were basically racist, elitist pricks. But you know, over 200 years ago, they were revolutionaries.
So what would Judge James Hardy say?
It'd be hard to say. No justice, no peace, no justice of the peace. Keep in mind, the justice of the peace is really a judicial position. It really doesn't exist anymore in many states. We used to have them until like the 50s and 60s. Very, very much a small town judge. He'd probably tell us that question what America's values are now.
He would be upset, wouldn't he?
Yeah, or he might.
How would you explain to Judge James Hardy, Judge, we have this thing called meth? How would you explain what meth is?
I'd say they're uppers. I'd say they're speed pills. Raise the temperature a little bit. Speed up the pulse. Get more stuff done. I'd say that Americans are having to work harder than ever to stay competitive in the world economy, and some people resort to cheap and easy means. You know, even back then, there were haves and have-nots. There's winners and losers. Cowboys and Indians. You know, Greeks and Minotaur. I mean, Greeks and Cretians.
Let's talk about this. You were offered a Panerai PAM 111 for $1,500. Explain that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Uberoki wanted me to take it over, have it looked at, have it serviced, and have Fulton's check it out. And he's like, this is a guy that I've done a lot of trading with, another collector in the past, like there's another Rolex guy. But Fulton's looked it over and said, I can't say it doesn't appear. I don't think it's Chinese. I don't think it's a People's Republic knockoff. It looks like it's an ETA movement. It looks like it's an ETA movement, but I can't say if it went. You know, sometimes the super high-end fakes will get ETA movements and just copy the Panerai inscriptions and the alterations to it. But I was thinking about it, and I was looking at a couple of things on the watch I've learned in my past things concerning Panerai, and you know, no box and papers. Nope, not going to play. Homie ain't going to play that.
Wow.
Even if well, because even if it's real, it's unsaleable. And even this guy, even Uber basically said that. He said there's so many good fakes, so many convincing fakes that I wouldn't even, you know, after this, I wouldn't even consider looking one unless it had everything in it.
Why don't you check it out on the Panerai forums?
I have, and the Panerai forums are giving me a big thumbs down. And like I said, they said you know, something about the swan's neck regulator. And I thought about that. I should have known that. I should have remembered that from last time.
That's
even
right.
Though my PAM Zero doesn't have that because it's not an exhibition case. But, you know, the regular, where you can basically, the little lever that you could move. It's a special size on the exhibition cases on the manual wines. It's called a swan's neck. It's tapered instead of being just a straight block. And it doesn't appear to be right. Okay. So, but I don't, you know, theoretically, yes, I could send it off to Panerai for a service, but I'm not going to pay, you know, I wouldn't even consider Panerai without box and papers. I don't care how sure the seller is.
See, even with IWC, we don't have that problem.
No. But there's such a markup in Panerai. There's such a huge profit.
They were so hot. They were so hot at one stage.
Yeah. And, you know, I look on the classifieds in Rolex forums, and there's tons on there for sale. You never hardly saw any of them. There's ones that have been sitting on Dallas Craigslist forever.
Panerai.
And I know you're, yeah, Panerai.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, the guy who sold me the Polar Explorer has one, and it's been sitting there forever. And he's like, yeah, no box and papers. I'm absolutely convinced it's Panerai. I've had people look it over, but unless you have someone reputable that's willing to put it on paper and risk their reputation, nope.
Geez, that's just amazing.
Yeah, actually.
So, what would Judge James Hardy say to Mickey Rooney finding out he's been married 30 times?
Andy, I hope you had them sign prenups.
Good. And yeah. Judy Garland, it didn't go so well for her, did it?
No. Then again, she's a product of Hollywood, so when unstable people have unstable kids, really, what the hell do you think is going to happen? Oh,
her daughter was Liza Minnelli.
Right. Still not, yeah. A little bit better than mom, but not much.
Ooh, she married Peter Allen. Don't say that.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying she's not a great entertainer. I'm saying she's not a good person. But if you don't have a template for normal growing up, then how do you expect to be normal? Oh, real quick.
Yes. Sorry. Do it again. Wow.
Salt and pepper. It's amazing at what a completely different look they have. You want to sing? I'll hold it up again, and you can sing Ebony and Ivory. You want to do that?
Sure. Do, 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 do.
Okay, you know.
And Ivory.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
okay.
Clyde,
Also, we're not on meth. I swear to God, we're not on meth. Go ahead.
Made in America. What's something proud about it being American? They make good movies, don't they?
Yeah, still entertainment. I think we still lead the world in culture, popular culture at least.
Ross Perot was right, wasn't he?
Yep. And what the Mexicans didn't gulp down, the Chinese took with agreements with Asian countries.
If you could say something to Sam Walton, what would you say?
Emphasize made in America.
He did. He did. He did.
Well, he did. But on the other hand, when you're still selling the Chinese stuff for 1/3 the price, even American flags are not made in America.
No, that's correct. That's correct.
Even the Donald's Make America Great Again hats about making America great again and bringing jobs back to America were made in China. So I don't, the jobs, the manufacturing and industrial jobs have left. I really don't know they're coming back.
Can you tell me a quality American car?
Toyota, Honda, they are assembled to a certain degree in the United States. So technically, boy.
A Malibu? Would you ever buy a Chevy Malibu?
No. I had a friend that had a Monte Carlo, and that was the biggest piece of crap ever. Ford, the new Ford, I think it's the new Ford Fiesta. I think that's actually made here, and they're saying the quality gives the Asians a run for their money. Let's see. Also, South Carolina vintage Rolex watches. Corvette 1963 split window. Well, yeah, obviously.
Oh, that's such a horny car.
Well, divisive though.
Why is that?
Some people love the design. Some people hated it. like I said, my parents were always looking for Studebakers.
Oh, they were looking for Studebakers.
Yep.
They were kind of like the prestige car, weren't they? Or
yeah,
well
actually,
made.
Yep, they were always looking for a Golden Hawk or preferably a Silver Hawk. Never could find one.
A Golden Hawk Studebaker.
Silver, yeah, or a Studebaker Silver Hawk. I think Mom had a Rambler for the longest time.
Oh, they were ugly, weren't they?
Yeah, but I was real little.
Silver Hawk? What was it? A Studebaker Silver Hawk, was it?
Well, I think it was a Rambler. I seem to remember talking about Nash Rambler.
Studebaker Silver Hawk was an automobile produced from 57 to 59 by Studebaker. I see.
And of course the Avanti, but no one ever dreamed of getting an Avanti.
That was something. That wasn't.
No, it was iconic. It was an iconic car. It was way ahead of its time in design and styling, and that was something unattainable for normal people. That's like what movie stars drive.
I see.
Hollyweed. Okay, AC Null's wanting to know who the hell is Judge James Harder. Now it's actually Hardy, Hardy, like Andy Hardy, and AC Null. Sorry, I don't want to sound flippant, but may I direct you to this thing called Wikipedia? You mean if I can Google that for you? Yeah, that's one of my favorite snarky sites. Is do you want me to Google that for you? You ever tried that?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. I was talking to some bird about certain positions, and she asked me that.
Do you want me to Google that for you?
Actually, Siri doesn't say that. She doesn't like Google, does she?
No, she doesn't. So was that a thin crust pizza or not?
Yeah, it was a very nice pizza there.
Yeah, I haven't had thin crust in forever. That actually sounds kind of good now that I think about it.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for the weight loss program. So tell me this: what would you say to What would you say to Nixon if you had your chance?
Burn the goddamn tapes.
Okay, good idea. And what would you say to Kennedy if Kennedy came back? What would he say?
What would what would I say to Kennedy?
Yes.
Don't install the fucking tape recorders. That was actually started by Kennedy. He actually was taping people just to make sure he got his shit straight, talking to the Joint Chiefs and staff members. Also, if Kennedy came back, I don't think he would say much of anything because approximately 1/4 of his brain was gone.
Fair point.
Okay.
Fair point. What would you say to Ross Perot's still alive? You know that, don't you? Is he alive?
I don't know. I'm not sure or not. We could Google it.
Yeah.
Would you mind Googling that for us? We appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. South Carolina.
He's alive. He's 87. He's 87.
Well, he seemed like a little old gnome, actually.
He was right, but don't you? Why doesn't anyone come back to him and say you were right, Ross?
Maybe you should. Maybe you can make a special video and send it to him. Okay. Well, actually, thanks for the South Carolina vintage Rolex. South Carolina, whatever the hell, is basically saying a Hemi-Cuda.
A Hemi
Dodge.
Yes, yes.
Hemi Barracuda. Also kind of wished me, told me good hunting on the, what do you call the Black Explorer?
That's just the Black Explorer. That's just the Explorer 2. It's not the Polar. It's just the Black Dial, isn't it?
Sort of like how the sub no date is actually just the sub.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I thought the sub was the date one.
No, it's the sub date. Technically, it's the sub and then the sub date.
Yes, but people, when they say a sub, they don't mean the no date.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Val F is basically saying Dodge Challenger, fuck yeah. Okay, Rhonda Stone is saying...
They still make good music in America, don't they?
What?
They still have good music. You still got that guy, Phil Spector. He's still doing shit, isn't he?
Right. And we've got the internet. You know, Al Gore invented the internet. Obviously. We invented blue jeans.
Phil Spector. You like Phil Spector, don't you?
Yeah. I wouldn't invite him over, but yeah, I'll listen to him.
He's a bit crazy, you know that. He's serving 30 years, isn't he, or what?
Something along those lines. Is a pretty heavy sentence. Anyone still awake? Playing D Meister 406. He's playing World of Warcraft on his other screen. So, what? Fuck, where's my phone?
What's wrong?
Okay. No, we're gonna try something. I'm gonna check the. Hey Siri, whatever happened to Hal? Siri, what happened to Hal? Hal made some very poor decisions, I'm afraid, but at least he could sing. That was cute.
Who is Hal?
Space Odyssey, the sentient robot.
Okay.
Well, I dream, Dave.
So, what time is it where you are?
It is 10:47. South Carolina is saying, Clyde, I need a vintage 18K bubble back. Actually, Uberoki had a gold one from the 40s for like 22, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure if that was a good price or whatever for it.
Original dial or not?
Original dial, yes.
That should be a bargain, Clive.
Well, you're asleep, dude. I mean, What do you mean? Will you answer the phone at like 4 a.m. your time? No. And it's still there. I can ask him about. Okay, I can ask him about it. I actually, if I could go over there with a camera in his house, he would be the guy. He would be the guy to ask. Okay, I'll ask him about it because I don't know anything about that.
Let me just take a 2-second break. You keep reading. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right. Clyde, there's someone behind you holding a No, there's not. Clyde, my daughter says you look like Philip Seymour Hoffman. You mean dead? No, I'm not on heroin. Okay, Dodge. Well, Plymouth. Yeah. I mean, maybe the old days, like 60s and 70s. What is the Pontiff's opinion on Casio watches? It rhymes with quitters. Gore versus pro-Neff to debate on Larry King, barely. I don't know, though, being 34 with a two-tone date just on a Jubilee might look weird. It depends if you can pull it off or not. If you can do it ironically, possibly. This, like in early 80s, it was still an acrylic, had a two-tone date just that was literally the old lady who drove the car to church once a week with a blue dial and the gold indices. God, it's like, God, why don't you tell? Because I just bought a date just 2 weeks before. I would have killed for that one. Box, papers, everything. Had it regularly serviced. And actually, the watch was from a friend of his in Oklahoma City, so I almost kind of wanted to bring it home. But, you know, instead, I went with the non-polar Explorer. Clyde, why don't you buy an AP Royal Oak and instead collect all this Rolex crap? I think or instead of collecting all this Rolex crap. Okay, look, we've talked about this. Rolex is the kiddie part of the pool. It's nice and safe. I'm kind of going around with my arm floaties. I'll get there eventually.
There's no resale value of APs, Clyde. You know that, don't you?
No, I did not know that. We've never talked about AP. Oh yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I got a third arsehole. I got the extra hole in my ass there from them. Remember?
Where did the second asshole come from?
First divorce.
Okay. Yeah. Why are you wearing an Apple Watch? That's because I'm having 2 laptops going, and that keeps them awake, keeps them from shutting down.
You're wearing an Apple Watch.
Well, yeah, but it's the black one, so it's the luxury Apple Watch. 22,000 is a really good deal if it has an 18-karat bubble back with original dial, but has to be full visible serial number. Where the hell were you guys about 24 hours ago? Okay, would you go with a Seiko Presage 055 or Seiko Monster Black Dial? Pontiff, I think that's for you.
Presage.
Did I tell you what I was reading on Facebook?
You did, but we can't mention that. We can't mention that. It's
okay. Well, okay. Someone, there's something on Facebook. There's a topic of conversation that kept coming up. Voldemort, or he who shall not be named, was being mentioned on the live fist party. And if you got a Facebook for a used watch dealer, kind of explains a little bit. We'll just leave it at that. Colostomy bag attached. No, there's not. Yellow, a rose gold Rolex two-tone. Did they do rose gold two-tones or not?
Yeah. They even did it in the plastic 1601s.
Would you prefer yellow gold or rose gold?
Definitely rose gold.
Okay. Trust Clyde to prefer the the kiddie pool is safe. No one drowns in the kiddie pool, unless they're just a total. All right. What is your opinion, Pontiff, about Stowa pilot watches? Oh, how do you even taste it eating that fast? I mean, seriously. I mean, do you even taste it at all?
No.
I mean, if it's really good ice cream, you should savor it, man.
Savor it. Okay.
Yeah. It should be num, 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 num. Yeah.
Stowe is just garbage. It's absolute garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage.
What do I think about Rolex Cellini Moon Phase as a dress watch?
Very. I got to tell you, it is a cool looking watch. That was released at Basel World. It is very cool. But
should you buy one? Should you buy one new for full retail? Don't you have a phrase for that?
I think realistically, look, I think some of the Cellinis are bargains. There was one at a watch dealer in Australia, early 90s Cellini, solid gold, manual wine, not quartz, high twos, Aussie.
Not bad. But the trouble is, there's so many. Is it Cellini or Cellini?
Any way you want, they're not desirable.
Okay, yeah. In other words, stick with the icons.
You got to get the oysters. The oysters. It's always Cellini. Rolex doesn't do dress watches like traditional dress watches. That's Patek's genre.
As you relearned recently, you stick with the oysters, not the prawns. Exactly. Ah, okay.
Now I got to tell you there, Clyde. It does. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, kiddie pool isn't safe when Clyde's around. Now, come on.
He's Clyde, you're going to go to bed soon, so all you're going to do is unplug the laptop and turn the light off and just lie down in that bed of yours, aren't you?
Yes.
We can keep doing the show. You just lie down and put the camera on you, and we'll just keep talking for a bit.
No, you don't know I'm wearing you know that I'm wearing a shirt under this robe. You don't know about the rest.
I love it, Clyde. I love it. So, Clyde, tell me this. What is the ambition with your collection there? Do you want to become a mini dealer? What do you want to do? You've done the pro bono thing enough. What are you going to do in your watch collecting life?
Well, I'm definitely not as pro boner as you are, but well, I don't know. And Uber basically tells me, he said it's like it's phases we all go through. Right now, you're like a toddler holding on to everything. Eventually, you're going to get your own taste, your own preferences. If you buy well, you'll eventually start trading and moving some stuff around. Difference between flipping.
I must say, I've I understand what Uber's saying. But I got to tell you, Clyde, I think you got some really nice pieces. You already did a flip. You sold that Oyster Perpetual you had, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I got out of it, basically.
And you got out of that fake Panerai your client gave you?
Right. And the champagne tile two-tone.
Yep, that's right. So tell me this, Clyde. In your own little collection there itself, I want to see you go towards, I tell you what I'd like to see you. I'd really like to see you go towards a Patek. And I don't think you'll go IWC. I think that's just too hard for you to go that way. I love my IWC. I really do love it.
Maybe a big pilot. I got to admit, I do like the big pilot. Does kind of speak to me a little bit.
I must tell you, I am absolutely shocked that Panerai, you're talking, these are serious, like Uber Oki's not an idiot. He's quite an experienced trader, right?
Yes.
And he's telling you could have the watch for $1,500 US, a PAM 111.
Right.
And he's not 100% sure because it doesn't have box and papers.
Yeah. He's basically saying, I don't care who certifies it, it's unsaleable with a box and papers.
I mean, there's no other watch. Rolex doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, what's a premium you'd pay on a Rolex for box and paper? I mean, box, you can always get the box, right? Papers is probably
Well, with a Rolex, I think you buy the watch. And with authentication by either ADs, used jewelers, or
Yeah. See,
competent,
I
I don't think it's a big thing.
I think on Paddock you can always get an extract from the archive, like they can reissue a certificate for you.
Nice,
right? That's about $120.
yeah.
The box, look, the boxes are nice to have. Yeah, I love the Paddock box, but it's not. But Panerai is worthless without the box and papers.
Even he said unsaleable.
I mean, there's no other brand that's so badly hurt like that.
Nope. Well, and like I said, that's part, not just Panerai, that's Richmont's policy. We do not authenticate used pieces. The only reason I got scored lucky is that my seller on my Zero had all the documentation, and the guy was the manager at that big place in New York City. Basically said, I want to make it clear that I do not authenticate used pieces. I said, I'm asking you to authenticate the original sale in the store's point of sale system. He's like, yeah, we can totally do that.
Yeah, I understand.
But a lot of ADs won't even do that, because it's like, why should we take time out of our day to help someone that we're not going to make money off of?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I wouldn't waste my time with you, Clyde. I know how stingy you can be. If I was selling new watches, Jesus, what would I... You wouldn't even waste... You know, you're not going to buy a new watch, are you?
No.
Now...
I'd be saying, look, don't you suckers watch ArchieLuxury?
That's it. Well, apparently at this convention you went to, they never heard of me.
I don't think they've heard of YouTube at this convention. Okay. I mean, literally, it's like, little boy, are you lost? Sonny? Sonny, can we help you?
I see.
You want us to go find your folks?
Yeah, Clyde, that's yeah, I understand. Clyde, do you ever go camping in the wilderness?
I used to when I was younger.
Are you anywhere near Yellowstone National Park?
No. We're 600 or 700 miles away, I think. America's a big country. And we're not our own continent, like Australia.
What are you yourselves there? Like in America, do you have parks near you? What are you near? You're not near the Grand Canyon or anything like that. What are you near?
Boiling Springs State Park is all right. Little natural geyser, a little bubbling, you know.
Yeah.
God. The Ouachita River, where
you got bison, got wiped out. Bison in Oklahoma, bison.
Yeah, there's some left. The Wichita Mountains, there's bison still left.
Okay. Big. They're quite nasty fuckers, aren't they, those bisons?
They can be. I mean, literally, they're, wire fences, and more or less people are careful to tell you, you piss one of the big ones off, that wire will not even, that won't even slow it down. It'll be like an it'll be like a first prize tape.
I see.
Across the finish line.
You leave the bisons alone. Don't piss them off.
Don't piss them off. Yeah. And if you make it to your car, you might think you're safe. No.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They're big enough. They're big enough, powerful, they can knock a car over. No problem. Be like pissing off a tank.
I see.
Shell must 20,000. So a Patek, what kind of Patek then, therefore?
We're still trying to get him to cross the line. Clyde,
to cross the line.
We need you to cross the line. I think for you, Clyde, you're not going to be I can't tell another man what to spend his money on, guys.
Even if, okay. Well, what would you suggest? What, and by the, what would have probably helped?
What's that?
Hey, Clyde, on your way down there, look out for a Calatrava model number. That would have been nice. Would have been kind of cool, helpful,
Clyde,
Tell
I
me
don't
on
think
the-
I don't think
tell
you
me on
need a
the-
Patek. I don't think you need a Patek. You did show me that Patek a few months ago. Remember that one from Craigslist?
Mhm.
It was too small, and
Yeah, and like I said, but on the other hand, not knowing the model numbers, not knowing the references, it's hard because I go in there and it looks like a whole bunch of watches that all look the same. So I'm like,
no. But Clyde, do you really want one? Do you really want a Patek? You're happy with the Rolexes you're doing?
yeah, I might look at, and like I said, and sometimes it's almost like it's almost like being a toddler, you know, taking those first tentative steps away without mom or dad holding, you know, mommy or daddy holding you up.
Tell me this, Clyde.
Oh,
When are you going to put these watches? I'm just telling you honestly, Clyde. When are you going to get these watches here, right, onto NATO straps?
well, I've got a rubber B for the no date sub. Oh, and by the way, this is also not a Rolex.
Yep.
And the funny part is the people who are not watch people love this thing.
Yes.
It catches more attention than anything else.
Yes.
It's so basic.
So does walking around with your fly undone, but we're not going to do that, are we?
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk and my woman's wear. No time to talk. Okay.
I can see you singing
I'm sorry. Did that
Trans
come through on the headphones? Did it? Sorry. You know, if I knew I was going to do that in advance, I probably would have got the people on the board to pay me money to do that. Well, now, like I said, the rubber bee is all right. Has the original one on the back. So, and if I want to play with straps,
yep.
I love the black alligator. Love it. If something happened, this would be the last to go. The very last, I think.
You're joking. The base zero.
No. Yeah. It is. It's nice. It's dependable. It's got a lot of versatility. You can change the straps easily. My blind ass can change the straps with a small screwdriver in 5 minutes. You completely change the look of the watch relatively cheaply with straps than it is. And aftermarket straps are quality ones exist. And, you know, even with the ETA movement, I'm kind of glad I stayed with the ETA movement on the Zero instead of going the in-house.
Tell me this, Clyde. If we started a diet channel, a diet segment, right, would you be there talking to me about celery and carrots as enthusiastically?
I would probably be doing low carb. And I would be pitting plates of steaks in front of the camera and eating them in front of you.
Okay. When do you reckon we should start losing weight before we could put our health at risk?
Probably before diabetes.
How far off diabetes are me and you? Let's be honest to each other.
Well, diabetes is on the channel all the time and he leaves frequent comments. So obviously we're not too far from diabetes. Diabetes actually looks a lot like Wilfred Brimley, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Yeah, talking about which way we're going to do it. I mean, I think really paleo is what I'm kind of thinking about doing anyway.
Tell me this: if I came to America, I really love this American stuff, right? How much would I need to buy a decent condo, 2-bedroom condo? How much do I need?
Well, it depends on what area of town and whatever.
I'd like a rundown. I'd like a good area, but it can be an older condo, like a 30, 40-year-old condo.
Well, it's been a while since I've checked out. Maybe $25,000. 30.
So if I'm not a U.S. citizen, can I buy real estate in Oklahoma?
Yeah, I think you should be able to. Yeah, or you can put it in my name, and I'll just hold it in trust for you.
And then the other thing is, how hard would it be to me to get a green card?
I don't know. Immigration law is its own area. But, you know, actually, you being such a, you need to act fast while we still, you need to act before the Trump administration ends. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, because I know they're talking about we're really going to get it tough on immigration. You know, we're going to keep all the immigrants from coming in. But, you know, just tell them you're white if anyone asks.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Clyde, tell me this. Meth, how big a problem would be meth if I came to Oklahoma?
Well, I think if you started using meth, it'd be a big problem. Is that the new ArchieLuxury? You've been talking about meth a lot. Is that the new ArchieLuxury weight loss program?
Okay, look, I got to tell you, I've been really a bit down lately. So I've been actually watching Hoarders UK,
Right.
People who hoard stuff. And
You think that's down? You know what's really down?
What's that?
Air crash investigation discoveries. I love that shit.
Yes, I love that too. That's a good program.
Oh, I love it. But you can always tell how bad it's
you know, I was so addicted to that program that I used to, when I was flying somewhere, I used to find out what aircraft I was flying on. I'd check the actual the series, like if it's a Boeing 777, find out all the faults with the 777, find out the crashes, and yeah, that's what I used to do.
Well, literally, it's just like we go
favorite crash. What's your favorite crash? What's the favorite crash?
You know,
I like that.
It's kind of
KLM crash. You know that KLM crash?
Yeah. The KLM and the Pan Am?
Yes.
On the island Tenerife.
Yes. Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Tenerife. Yeah, that's the biggie. The Japanese,
because it was the arrogant KLM pilot that caused that.
Oh yeah, totally. And you know, of course, Manuel from Faulty Towers was running Faulty Towers was running the air traffic control.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever seen Charlie Victor Romeo, CVR? It's Charlie Victor Romeo.
No.
It is an American production from a few years back.
Yes.
But it's a rotating cast, and it's just nothing but the most simple background. It's like an airplane pilot, an airplane cockpit, and they basically redo the voice transcripts from these crashes.
Oh, I see.
It is compelling. It is really, really compelling. They do all. They don't do Tenerife because they have to do two at the same time. But what is the one where it crashed in Indiana in '89 because the de-icing was inadequate? American Airlines 232 or something like that, 2289 or something. Anyway, check out Charlie Victor Romeo.
I will do that. That sounds like a great idea. Charlie Victor Romeo.
Yes. Phonetically, cockpit voice reporter spelled out.
Yep. I see what you're saying. So that's a great thing. Tell me this, Clyde. What about the one where one of my favorite one was Air Italia, where they just ran out of fuel over New York?
Okay, yeah. But, okay. What the Canadian one, because they are going from metric to what's that shit you guys use? Not that from imperial to metric.
Yeah.
And basically, someone forgot to tell the ground crew.
Oh, I see.
So they're going along in the middle of Canada, in the middle of nowhere, and all the fuel cuts out. They thought they were their main documentation showing the fuel, brand new airplane. 737 wasn't working, so they just relied on their notes. Okay, we ought to be good. All the engines cut out, and the guy landed it dead stick landing on a unused military air base in the middle of Canada.
Yeah,
Bimini glider.
Yes,
and more. But the thing is, the guy was a glider pilot enthusiast for as long or longer than he'd actually been an airline pilot.
Yes.
And he flew that like a motherfucker.
And what happened? It landed safely.
It landed safely, perfectly. As a matter of fact, it was too high. It was coming in too fast. And more or less, he just kind of turned it and just burning up altitude.
Yeah.
Then turned back into the glide like you would in a glider, and just there almost was loss of life because there were kids on the runway, and there's no, the engines are cut off. So someone finally looked up and he screamed at the kids to get off the runway. Otherwise, they'd be saying they're playing jacks or riding their bicycles, and in comes the 737. Amazing
story.
Yeah, people talk about Sully. Yes. Oh, Sully. No, compared to this Canuck, Sully, no. This guy outflew the shit out of Sully. As an American, I have to admit that Canuck was awesome.
Sully was a good pilot, but you must admit.
Well, here's one thing he did. He thought ahead. He actually went beyond the checklist, and even though it was much later on, he clicked something for a little propeller to stick out the back, so the airspeed would turn the propeller and keep the computers running. So even though the aircraft was dead, the airplane, the main computer flight systems were able to assist him in landing the plane. They said it was of course the Airbus is so heavily computerized anyway. Had he not done that, it would probably have been a lot worse. But one of the nice things about aircraft investigation discoveries is you wait for the first interview when they first cut to, and it's just like that lets you know how bad it's going to be. Mm-hmm. So Bob Belkins was a co-pilot for United Airlines for 15 years. And then it'll either cut to old Bob Belkin and say, okay, well, it's not going to be that bad. Or it'll cut to Mrs. Bob Belkin. Bob always loved flying. That was his life's work. It's like, okay, this is going to be one of those. Awesome.
I see, Clyde. Yes.
The U.S. air flight that crashed outside of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Also involving a 737. They never proved it in court, but more or less it was a problem with the rudder. The rudder design was faulty, and they didn't. Boeing never admitted liability, but they quietly fixed it. I actually had some friends who were paramedics, emergency services.
Yes.
Well, apparently when you hit the ground that hard,
yes,
everything shatters.
I see.
So more or less, it was they're walking along thinking, why are all these masks lying here?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't masks, it was actually people's heads, but since the impact shattered the bone and the skull and everything else, it almost looked like, it almost looked like rubber masks of people.
You're joking.
No. I had 2 or 3 that were responders. I mentioned that.
They look like masks on the floor.
Yeah.
And that was people's faces.
Heads specifically, yeah.
Everyone died.
And other body parts. What?
Everyone died?
Yep. Yeah, the people whose heads became detached and their skulls shattered and pulverized, as a general rule,
they
died.
Would be dead. I see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a medical expert or nothing, but yeah.
No, that's a great story. That's a great story.
It is.
I just got to look up, what was that 737 pilot he landed? What was that?
Bimini, Bimini glider. If you look up Bimini was the unused military airport that he landed at. Bimini. Paco versus horn round. 3 horns, right eye is cut. Oh, hey, Stockhorn's giving a circle horn on the boards.
Stockhorn's there, is he?
Yeah. Okay. Is this an episode of Air Crash Investigation? No, this is an entirely different sort of fatal crash. Eco 8 Gator, next time you go to that convention I want to go with, I'll fly to Texas and pay my fee. Well, okay, yeah. You have to have a member. You have to have a Watch and Clock Collector member sign in with you. But yeah, that's not a problem. Next time I'm going in with a quiver full of arrows, I'm going in for the entire weekend. You cherry pick the first day. As soon as the table's open, you know, casually stroll around and then see the bargains. You catch them. It's just like anything else. When they're ready to say, fuck it, and get back on the airplane, that's when they haggle like a bitch.
I see.
Yeah, when the guy's like, "Man, I'm gonna get back to I'm supposed to be in the airport in 2 hours," you come back in an hour and 15 minutes.
I see.
Yep.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's the happy hunting ground.
Very happy hunting ground, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's well, yeah, it's basically used. I mean, it's got to be used wholesale because dealers, used retailers are going down there and buying.
Very good point.
Retail, yeah. As we know, retailers don't pay retail prices to buy stuff. They pay wholesale prices. So
yes, we like our wholesale prices.
Absolutely.
I
you have
agree.
any plans for any other watches or not?
Me?
Yes.
I got to tell you the truth. I'd really like to get a Breguet Type 20 again, and some sort of dive watch.
Oh, like a Panerai?
Yeah, one for $1,500.
Well, he made the offer to me, but I'm going to tell him no.
I think it's too risky, don't you reckon?
Oh, absolutely no. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, do I think that he thinks that it's real? Yeah. Do I think it's real or worth the risk? No.
No, it's not worth the risk. That's exactly right. Clyde, we better.
So what are you thinking of? Like a no date?
Yeah, or a sea dweller.
Sea dweller?
Yeah, that's the sort of one. Yeah. What do you reckon?
You know, there's always the bluesy.
That's a great watch. You got a great collection, Clyde. You should be really pleased with that, you know.
Well, you know, and the thing is, I think you've had each one of these watches at some point in time.
Clyde,
I mean, when you think about it.
I'm going to go and watch some I'm going to watch some more videos about America being overtaken by meth dealers.
Okay.
I better let you go. Thank you so much for attending. And
thanks for having me.
Just one more sucker horn. Sucker horn! One more before you go.
Sucker horn!
I need you to wear that hat next time you do that. You know, that Viking hat there? When you just say sucker horn,
no, the fist. No, that's not a. No, actually, no, that's not a Viking hat. Vikings didn't have horn helmets. That's actually offensive to Scandinavians and Aryans. I
see.
Right. This is not a Viking hat. As we have discussed many times,
it's a watch holder.
It's the ArchieLuxury Deluxe luxury wristwatch display stand.
Could you put that on whilst you say sucker horn? No.
No. I could, but I'm not.
Okay. Clyde, it's been great chatting to you.
Available soon from Low Functioning Lawyer Industries.
What time is it in America now? 11:20.
11:20.
So all you're going to do is unplug the cable. As soon as I say goodbye, unplug the cable, flick the switch, take that robe off, and lie down and sleep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we just have a sneak of the bedroom, just a sneak around the room?
No, 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 no.
Okay, look, Clyde.
You've got, look, I've already updated my Paris is burning background, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Clyde. Thank you so much.
See, the Eiffel Tower that way kind of looks like, how would I describe that? Anyway.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Ciao.
Happy birthday.